I'm going to start the show off tonight a bit differently than usual.
Hello everyone, welcome to the second installment of Felduary. Yeah, I finally found a good enough title for it. I had enough time to mull it over and think about it. Yeah, we're going into Felduary now. Anyhow, last video I did my top 10 favorite performances I thought were good and really needed attention to see, and pretty much some mainstream performances were on the list. But that got me thinking, what about his underrated performances? Performances I never see anyone fucking talk about. And I mean hardcore Feldman fans only talk about these performances. So I'm going to do my top 10 favorite underrated Feldman performances. So let's get things started and let's start listing this stuff. Let's hit it! Top 10 underrated Feldman performances. Let's go!
There's no rules out here. I'm playing my game now.
Number 10 is A Dangerous Place. And yes, I know this is exactly what it looks like. Or you think it's exactly what it looks like. A Karate Kid ripoff with Feldman as the main villain. And does he play the main villain well? Oh yeah, he does. He actually fucking kills somebody at the beginning of the movie. Basically, the story of this is this little brother, his older brother, joins up with this karate dojo called the Scorpions, which is actually kind of a cooler name than Cobra Kai if you think about it. I'd like to see the Scorpions versus the Cobra Kais. That would be fucking badass. Anyway, the Scorpions are known for scavenging, pillaging, and stealing shit. When the older brother joins up with them, he gets killed by accident, and on top of all that, to keep his mouth shut because of them stealing from an older couple that actually knew the family, and they kind of leave him there. They fake his death to look like a suicide. And his little brother wants to take revenge on the Scorpions, so he ends up joining the Scorpions, and Feldman being the main villain of the group, and it's just one exciting event throughout the run of the movie. It's cheesy, it's over the top, it's 90s cheese as hell. But good God, I love this one. Feldman does such an interesting job playing the villain that it's not funny. I mean, he really got into this role. And some of the karate moves that is used in the movie are very realistic. It's not like that Karate Kid crane kick stuff. This character is a lot different than Daniel, too, the main character of the group. He actually is fighting for revenge. He's not fighting to stick up for himself or anything. He is fighting for the death of his brother. And he joins up and loses a portion of himself by joining the Scorpions. And Feldman just does a fantastic job in this. He steals the show, even though he's like 30 in this movie and he's playing like an 18-year-old. But hey, the guy looks incredibly young, so him scoring this role is easily fittable. It's a lot of fun to watch, and I really love the last fight at the end. But I'm not going to dare spoil it because this one is at least worth a one-time watch. It's very low on the list because, you know, I do see it on like the Roku channel and some streaming services every now and then like Tubi. But it's on there and it's on YouTube, but I would recommend buying the VHS version to support the artist. So keep in mind, this is not a Karate Kid knockoff completely. It's more or less a Karate Kid spin-off. In fact, fun fact for people, the dojo that the young boy, the main character, uses is actually the original dojo in Cobra Kai. So, there you go. I keep throwing in Cobra Kai in this shit. Okay, let's move on to number 9.
For you are with me.
She let it take over, because that's what it does. It takes over your soul.
Oh my God!
Number 9 is Terror Inside. And this one is more of a disgusting movie, but I really like gore, and this one came out, I believe, in 2008, and it's really underrated. It skipped out on a lot of people's radar a lot, and it doesn't have any cheese really in it. The gore is over the top. Basically, a town is overrun by a plague where they feel pain and they just love the feeling of pain. They can't feel it, so they kind of mutilate their own bodies into doing so. And it's up to Feldman and his beloved to get out of the town alive, but it's already too late by the chance they caught the disease. It's kind of a fucked up movie, and there is some really fucked up imagery in this movie, but good God, that's what makes it memorable. That's what makes this one really freaking memorable, is just how gory and messed up this film is. It's like an hour and a half of watching the effects of like Army of Darkness and Evil Dead kind of just combined together. It's messed up, dude. It is really fucking messed up. But still, the performance in it is really good, and it kind of makes me sad it's a little underrated. But I have seen a lot worse, gore-wise anyhow. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But there is one scene in this movie that I can't watch with a straight face. There is a scene where one of the main characters or side characters goes to the bathroom, takes her shirt off, and she actually fucking knifes off her nipple. Oh my god! Ugh! Let's go to the next one, because the list is only going to get more awesome as we continue on.
You need a new pledge, and you need a place to live. It's true. What do you think of joining us? I think that'd be great.
Now we're on to more 90s cheese, and that is voodoo. Voodoo is very interesting. The story is basically this guy shows up on campus to stay with his girlfriend because his Hollywood job didn't work out, and he goes to stay with her, but she kind of doesn't have a spot for him, so he stays with this other group in the dormitory, and he finds out that they're a bunch of fucking crazy-ass witch doctors who put voodoo spells on people and then try to turn them into mindless, brainless pawns, and Feldman himself actually gets turned into one. And what do I think of it? It's kind of fucking cool. It's a very over-the-top 90s film that a lot of people really miss out on it. The acting isn't fantastic in this, unless you count Feldman's acting, which his acting is normally spot on almost every performance he does. This one is just fun to pop in and watch when you want to really subvert your expectations and waste time. You want to prop your feet up and watch something funny, over the top, and just 90s cheese camp. This is the movie for you. It's also very funny at times. Some of the effects is what makes it funny, and some of the acting from the main guy just kind of just blows my mind on how hilarious this motherfucker actually is. The main dude is so freaking over the top, the main villain of the dorms, the voodoo witch doctor king or whatever, that it's just great. You find more and more out about this campus, and honestly, this movie I just feel so sorry for Feldman in, because the character gets put up with a lot of shit. His girlfriend's throwing him out, he's with these crazy ass weirdos, they turn him into fucking a voodoo creature that they can manipulate. It's just unbelievable on this one, and honestly for me, I laugh my ass off at this one more than I get invested in it, but I think that's the idea of this. It's just a lot of fun, and not a lot of people are going at it like they're taking it super seriously, except for the main villain, but it's just so blown out of proportion. It's just fucking great. I love it. I love every portion of this movie, and it doesn't have any slow parts. And what I like about it also is maybe the chemistry between him and his girlfriend. It's not how good it is, it's actually how bad it is with his girlfriend in this. These two really act like they fucking don't like each other, and it's kind of funny to watch them work off. It's just got you thinking, why the hell is he with her if she's such a bitch? But other than that, this is kind of a top tier funny movie. I mean, some people just really go over the top, but I think the MVP of this movie that really goes overboard is the guy that's investigating the voodoo clan. Oh my god. I love his acting in this. He just blows it way up. It's just great. And some of the effects in here are just like that 90s effect where they're trying to do a little bit of CG and practical effects together, and it just doesn't work somewhat. But then there's some sensual scenes that I didn't like where they take one of the jock bullies and is like, oh, I gotta put oil all over my skin. They put it all over the doll's skin. It's weird. But I recommend checking it out. This one is kind of fucking awesome at the same time as being a weird 90s movie. Give it a watch if you haven't.
Your hair? No, but you got a straw sticking straight up.
Oh, man! How about my teeth? Got stuff in my teeth?
No, your teeth are fine. How about my gills and my dorsal fin? Are they looking okay? What's going on with you?
Hey, look, it's the first cartoon performance on here that's really underrated. Okay, now for a little history about the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow came out in the year 2000, and I would try to explain the story the best I can, but it's basically Aladdin meets Wizard of Oz meets Richard Simmons. That's the best way to describe the story here. And Feldman plays a character named Max the Mouse, who is just the sarcastic voice of reason. He plays an asshole in this, and I actually love it. He says what pretty much the entire fucking audience is thinking. He is the mouthpiece for the audience in this movie, and it works. Plus, I like the accent he gives Max in this film. I think he's doing like a stereotypical accent. I'm not sure on what one, but it's one that I've heard before, and I didn't even recognize it was him because of the voice. I thought it was just somebody that they hired to do the voice of the mouse. And it was just the sugar on top and the cherry on top of the diabetic sundae that it was actually Feldman. There was really no huge talent behind the animation budget, but all the scenes with Max the Mouse are totally worth it. I mean, like I said, the best character out of the entire movie is a talking mouse with a sarcastic attitude, and that's what makes Max the Mouse freaking work. I just love this dude. He's an asshole, but he's just saying what the audience is thinking. It's too stupid even for us, the audience, to comprehend. And he just makes off sarcastic, hateful comments, and it works. I don't know what it is, it works. Funny thing is, I bet Feldman himself forgot he was in this. Hell, I didn't even know he was in this until I turned like 19 and rewatched it with my little 9-year-old sister at the time. It was just fucking great, and honestly, this movie is worth more than a one-time watch. This is the second time I put this movie on a list because I put it back on my favorite Halloween list, and yeah, this one is definitely worth checking out. The music is just over the top. Just like I said, it's Richard Simmons meets Aladdin meets... Oh god, what did I fucking say? Just go check it out yourself. It's on YouTube for free, or you could buy it on VHS. This movie is amazingly... It's in the so terrible, it's great category. It's like the Troll 2 of animated movies. It's that good. Or The Room of animated movies. Anyway, quit listening to me blab about it. Let's move on to the next number.
Wow. And they say heavy metal music is dangerous.
Next is Step Monster. A young boy loses his mom, and she goes missing throughout at least 2 years throughout the run of the series. The dad finds a new lady in his life, and it turns out she's a monster that eats the husband during the wedding night. It's actually a very strange movie, and Feldman is not the main character, but he's the best character out of the movie. He has the most memorable lines. Okay, the best way to describe this film is it's a direct-to-video movie, I'm pretty sure. And on top of all that, it's like taking a Goosebumps episode, or an Amazing Stories episode, if anyone has ever fucking heard of that, or Tales from the Crypt, and giving it an hour-and-a-half long feature. It is campy and over the top, and Feldman plays a side character named Flem. Yes, Flem, who is just your average generic rocker punk head, and I love this dude. He has the best dialogue in the movie, like, they say rock and roll is bad for you, or I was once a tiny little dude. He's channeling his Ninja Turtle character here. This film is awesome, and it's good for kids to watch too. I would let my little sister watch it. I would let my son watch it. It's actually a pretty good movie. Although what hurts it is Feldman isn't in it much. He doesn't come in to the movie until about the middle, and then he comes back around the end of the movie, which I'm not complaining. Anything with Feldman, it's worth having that one gold star on it. And his character is just friggin' fantastic here. I love how they try to beat the monster, and I'm not going to go into complete detail on what they do, but it's awesome. His character actually saves the day, if you think about it. He comes up with it. And it's got a good happy ending to it too. If you haven't seen this yet, and you really like Goosebumps, or Tales from the Crypt, then check this out. Let's move on to the next one. And speaking of Tales from the Crypt...
This is McKay. I'm still gonna kill you when I'm finished.
Yep, the next one is Tales from the Crypt, Season 6 episode, The Assassin. This one has one of Feldman's most over-the-top performances, but a fun performance, all I've got to say. Though his character gets killed awfully quick in this, but his lines are the most memorable. And not only does he do a good job, but so does Jonathan Banks and a surprise cameo voice guest spot from Cam Clark. They do amazing in this. The story of this one is, well, this episode, it's only 20 minutes long, is that a woman is ambushed at her house. Feldman is one of the people that are sent after her. They are looking for her husband, and they can't find him because he's apparently changed his face and identity 100% completely. But the woman who ensures them that her husband is not part of that assassin ends up killing off each and every member of this group. And what happens throughout the twist ending to this episode is just too good to spoil. But Feldman really hams it up in this role. I love this character and how over the top he is, which that's the thing with Tales from the Crypt. It is complete over the top nonsense. But his character actually gets the best death in this series. I mean, it won't have me running on a treadmill anytime soon. That's all I'm gonna say. It's such a good episode, and it's very memorable with a really good cast of other actors. The lady that plays in it just is a fantastic job. She does a great, confused woman, and that's the idea of it. How she's able to play these guys and kill them all off on her own. She makes it look like an accident, but there's something brewing behind her personality that is there. All I've got to say, this episode would go into my top 5 favorite Tales from the Crypt episodes of all time. In fact, that might be a list that I do in October, my 10 favorite episodes of Tales from the Crypt. I'll keep you updated on that one. Anyhow, this one is worth checking out. Feldman's performance is great as usual, and so are the other actors. Like I said, the surprise guest appearance from Cam Clark also works, and it reunites my Ninja Turtle crossover that I always wanted. Fucking Donatello from the movie and Leonardo from the cartoon are in this show, this episode, together. That is just so fucking worth it. Let's go to the next one.
She's not a good morning person.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Runs in the family.
Do you remember what I said in A Dangerous Place about Feldman playing a villain and how good he was at that? Well, he was really fucking good in this. Blown Away is actually a Two Coreys movie that is under the radar in a lot of lists. And this one is actually good. And I don't mean in a bad way good. And I mean it is really good with stellar acting and really good effects and a really good story. Corey Haim's character falls in love with a girl who is playing him so she could kill her father and blow him up. Then she finds out that she was trying to get with Haim to get something from him when she is really working with Feldman herself. It was a twist I didn't see coming, and a lot of people probably haven't seen this one, but good lord, it is just really great. Feldman starts off as the side character. Him and Haim are actually half brothers in this one. And Feldman, I thought, in this movie was just going to be a side character that gets the jokes and says all that crap. You know, his normal character that he plays in the side movies. But no, he becomes something much bigger and much more dangerous in this movie. He becomes a legitimate threat. And one you don't see coming. It's so good. And the way, the chemistry that is had between him and Haim is just fantastic, and the acting is really well done here. The two really appear to hate each other, or Feldman really seems to hate the character in this movie, and he portrays such a good villain. I mean, I never thought I would see Feldman as a better villain than he was in A Dangerous Place, but this proved me wrong. He played a gigantic villain here, and it's probably in my top 20 favorite movie villains of all time. I've got to say, I'm impressed. If you haven't seen this one, if it slipped under your too Corey radar, this is a must-watch movie. Give it a shot if you haven't seen it. It is a legitimate 100% must-watch. All the acting is great, the story is interesting, and the characters are all awesome. Don't miss out on this one. Check it out.
Say, I'm a hard act to follow.
Knuckle Duster!
Now we're hitting in the top 3 territory, and we are going straight to Super Robot Monkey Hyper Team Force Go. God, what a long freaking title. And Feldman plays a pink monkey named Sparks who has the best lines out of the entire cartoon. I had always said that Feldman should have went into anime, and this one kind of just proves my point. He plays the main hero character pretty damn good. He's cocky, he's over the top, he's Sparks. I mean, you can't help but love this character. This cartoon is completely under everyone's radar. And when I do mention it, people actually kind of tweet and like it and say, I'm so glad that he's in the thumbnail, meaning you watched the show. Yes, I did watch the show, and I had no idea that this was Feldman. And this isn't the only other actor that's in it that's really good. Kari Walgreen's in it, Greg Seitz, you name it, it's all great. This one is over the top, animated, definitely fun. And I don't know if it's an anime or not, I'm not sure on that one, but I do know there is a lot of talent in this. Mark Hamill plays the main villain. All the characters work really well off each other, and my favorite has to be the relationship between Sparks and Kari Walgreen's monkey, whose name I can't remember. I'm sorry, it's been too long. This show doesn't have a DVD release, and that is just straight out criminal in my book, because of all the talent and work that went into this. There's no way to watch it. It's not even on Disney Plus, sadly. And the comedy to this show, for a kids show, especially for me at the time, was actually pretty spot on. Hell, I just watched a few episodes on YouTube myself, and I kind of chuckled at it. This is a pretty good show with decent action. Now, it's kind of hard to really nail down what the story is about, but basically, this young boy finds this robot, and they are all inhabited by robotic monkeys from space, and basically he has the power to control the robot, and they go around crime fighting or fighting aliens and etc. to save the world. The voice talent in here is really where it's at, and Feldman's performance as Sparks is great. A very funny, sarcastic ape with just a great sense of humor. His overconfidence, especially with Kari Walgreen's monkey, is just hilarious. I love how he tries to hit on her and then she just beats the crap out of him most of the time. He is easily the funniest character of the bunch, and by far my favorite. And no, it's not because he is voiced by him, it's because he actually did a pretty damn good job in this. And it's criminal, like I said, that we don't have a DVD release of this show. There needs to be one! Anyhow, yeah, this one was easily worthy of being number 3 on the list. Let's move on.
Let's go.
Well, now we're up to number 2, and that is Lipstick Camera. This one is actually really good. It's a mystery movie, and not only is Feldman in it, but so is Terry O'Quinn. That's right, John Locke from Lost is in this, and you just can't help but enjoy this one. There's not a whole lot to say about it. The story is good, though. A girl is trying to get extra points for her film class, and then she ends up sleeping with her teacher. Feldman's character is in love with her. Then he ends up being killed by John Locke, which is really fucked up in a way. But, damn, this one is pretty interesting, and it's a pretty darn good mystery, too. I really enjoy this one quite a bit. At first, it's slow. It does have a very slow burn at first, and Feldman does play that side character with all the sarcastic lines in it, but it works, to a degree anyway. The DVD, however, is extremely rare. I mean, it's like $30 to $40 just for the one DVD. I actually got mine on sale. I found mine at a store, at a thrift store, and I got really lucky and excited that I found it. It is worth at least one watch. Not for just Feldman's acting, but Terry O'Quinn does one hell of a job. If I have one little gripe with this, it's the main girl is not that interesting, but that's just a slight gripe. When you get powerhouses like Feldman and Terry O'Quinn in there, you can't help but fall in love with it. Now, a lot of you were saying, well, that's a good number 2, but what could top all these over-the-top performances? What could be better than all these cooler movies that I've shown you, or all these so bad it's good movies? There's only one movie I could think that could be number 1, that is Criminal, that is underrated. It's very criminal, and it's not fair it's underrated. Let's go to number 1. Number 1 is The Birthday. And I know a lot of people are probably saying, what's The Birthday? The Birthday is very criminally underrated, and which is weird because Corey himself has stated that this is his favorite performance. The story of a man named Norman who is very socially awkward, who tries to go to his girlfriend's dad's party. And you find out that there is a cult running behind the lines of this party, willing and ready to sacrifice the family here. And whatever body the person that's related to, the demon or whatever the hell they're trying to summon, takes over. And it's just great. Did I mention over the top as hell? Yeah, it's over the top as hell, but the visuals, the setting, oh my god, it's breathtakingly good. And it doesn't have a US American release. You can only get it from France sources. This one is just so good. This is Feldman at his best acting, in my opinion. I really find Norman to be a very likable character. He's funny, and the lines he says, he's not trying to be sarcastic. He's trying more or less to catch in on why he's the way he is. He's an awkward guy trying to be funny, and I really like that with a person. He kind of uses comedy as his crutch, which is fantastic in my opinion. It is that good. The music and setting and atmosphere is really good here too. I really like the music, especially the theme on the elevator. It's My Party. They use a music box style of that theme, and I just absolutely enjoy that. The hotel itself is creepy. I mean, the setting around it is creepy as hell. You could see a lot of work went into this hotel. I'm not for sure, but I do believe this is a real freaking hotel. But like I said, I'm unsure of it. This one is also pretty gory, and the effects still hold up today. This came out in 2004, and they really put in some effort on the effects. The characters are all interestingly likable. The ones you're supposed to hate, you hate. The ones you're supposed to like, you like. And honestly, I don't like her family. Her father is an asshole, but then he becomes redeemable and likable near the middle of the movie. Oh my god, it is just so well done, and it's a shame that it doesn't have an American DVD release. Feldman has even stated that he loves this movie to pieces, and even the ending, which goes into a really depressing state, it ends on an epic note. The music in this is really well done too. I just really enjoy everything about this one. And I feel bad that I didn't add it to the regular performances, but the reason I didn't was I wanted to make sure it was number 1 on the list, so I could talk about it more in detail. This movie sets up everything that you need to see, and I like the mystery behind the cult here. The mystery behind the cult is just kind of fascinating in my book. It was really well done, and honestly, it's just one of his best roles. Norman's likable, and all I gotta say is, I love it. The designs, the setting, the story, the structure, it's all really well balanced. And I've gotta say, it's worthy of being number 1 on this list. If you haven't seen The Birthday, I highly recommend checking it out. Unfortunately, there is no DVD release for it in America. There are some French releases, but you gotta have a region-free DVD player. I'd say go buy it, but make sure to have a region-free DVD player if you do buy it. Give this one a shot if you haven't yet. It is totally worth your time and investment. And that's my list for top 10 underrated Feldman performances. Did I miss any that you guys know about? Did you want me to mention some other ones that I didn't mention in the comments? Let me know down here in the comments. Always remember, I'm listening.
Hello, this is Corey Feldman. Welcome to my studio here in Los Angeles, California, and I just wanted to pop in to say congratulations to Tim. Mr. Tim, I hope everybody's enjoying your videos. He's got some great content, and if you're enjoying his content, make sure you click on that little button right there that says subscribe. Why? Because everything on his channel is Bossa Nova. That's right. Congratulations on your channel, Mr. Tim. I'll be following you, and I know everybody else will too.
People, they'll beat you, they'll cheat you, they'll